Hi, you guys. This is me again. Good afternoon for some of you. This is Mohammed Timor. Welcome to Timor's Corner. I'm going to be touching on, in general, how vaccines are being produced. And if you have any questions, just subscribe to my channel, Timor's Corner, and please put in the comment section what you think of this video. If you need anything else for me to explain, or something is not clear, or you want me to re-explain it, and hopefully I'll be able to help some of you out there, moms, pops, whoever is interested in it. Um, how vaccine traditionally has been produced is by picking up the virus itself, kill it, and inject it into the body. Depending on your immune system, of course, some have a strong immune system, and some have not don't have a strong immune system. You inject it into the body, and then your body ends up producing a response to it. Now, the response generally is twofold. One of them is the so-called innate immune system, which attacks immediately, does not form a memory, and every time you get infected by the same virus, you have the same response. But it does interact with the adaptive immune system. Now, the adaptive immune system takes approximately 1 to 2 weeks for it to develop, and that's what they call when they say that your body is going to be producing antibodies or not. That's where the adaptive immune system comes into play. So the adaptive immune system does form a memory, and whenever you get exposed to the same virus in the future, your body will give a stronger response, more robust response, and it does so at a much quicker rate. It's more reliable, and it forms the memory. It takes a long time to develop, but it actually offers that long-lasting immunity. Now, one of the side effects with the any vaccine for that matter is that because you inject it and it's a virus itself, but it's dead. Because it's dead, it could cause the body to overreact. Again, depending on the strength of your own immune system, when you inject it into the body, your body could end up overreacting, and you could end up uh, getting into anaphylactic shock. What is anaphylactic shock? What that simply means is that because your body, your immune system, your neutrophils and so forth, when they interact with this virus, what they do is it causes your blood pressure to drop. Now, when your blood pressure drops, obviously your head needs oxygen, rest of it, but the whole dizziness, the wooziness of you, so-called hypotension, where your blood pressure is dropping and you feel a little bit woozy. Now, for some, this lasts a little bit. For some, it can last longer, and some can even end up in a hospital with some little bit of help and with some medical intervention, you can actually have them back onto their own feet and nothing's wrong. Now, for those who, I know I touched on this last time, but it is very unfortunate that when you have somebody who is a medical doctor, especially from like if you're one from UK, and spread like lies. So even though it turned out to be a lie, it's still, you have parents, and I understand you have parents out there who've had um, uh, parents right now, and couples, parents, or individuals who are reluctant to get it because of the sheer number of conspiracy theories that are out there, depending on what your political affiliations are, who you're following, or who you're really adamantly following through. Um, so it is very unfortunate, but I hope that this video clears out and helps some of you about how vaccines work. Now, the common side effects with this virus when it came out is that it caused, your sense of smell was gone. Like with the J&J vaccine, the common reported side effect, and that's only when you reach them, because they used it on approximately, I think, 6 to 8 million. I think 6 million people they ended up testing it on until they finally came up with the results that it caused clotting. Now, the latest one to be added to the list of adverse effects for people that got the J&J vaccine is that clotting, one, two, heart problems, arrhythmias, I think, yes, or heart problems, um, arrhythmias, and one of the good thing is that yes, we were able to, because this virus caught the world by storm and collapsed a lot of countries' economies. A lot of countries went into overdrive, and they tried to produce a vaccine as soon as possible. One downside to it is that whenever you do produce a vaccine and it is safe, you have to go, of course, through clinical trials. Once you're done with the clinical trials, then you can, of course, can test for common side effects and rare side effects. One thing that was lacking with this drive to make the vaccine, and it was developed in the sheer speed of it, about I think less than approximately give or take 2 years for it to come out, is that we were able to produce a vaccine but without being able to test it. And so now you see, for example, like the Pfizer vaccine, the J&J vaccine, the Moderna vaccine, and some other vaccines that are still coming out that are being tested on people. And now, as time is going by, we're learning more and more about other side effects. Like, as I said, for the J&J, when the clotting came out, then a heart problem came out. And then you had the Moderna and vaccine. But among all vaccines, the one that is, I would use the word common, is the anaphylactic shock. Drop in blood pressure. For some, they could end up in a hospital because it just takes too long and their blood pressure is dropping significantly. Then they end up in a hospital with medical interventions. They're brought back into it. Now, when your blood pressure drops, of course, your body is deprived of oxygen. Your brain, I'm going to give a range because for some it's 30, for some so you can stretch it out. The brain, if the brain is deprived of oxygen for 30 to 45 seconds, you're dead. Exceptions to the rule of those people where we can call and I believe in miracles, where you have people who were deprived they were in coma or they were deprived of oxygen for more than 30 seconds, for minutes and even hours, and they ended up coming back to life. So outside of those, what is in the books and what is normally when you're going into it and they're telling you about it is that when your brain is deprived of oxygen for 30 to 45 seconds, you're dead. So unless your blood pressure drops to the extent that when you go to the hospital and your body's ability to compensate for it, to bring the blood pressure back up, your sympathetic nervous system, because when your blood pressure drops, your body responds to it by so-called kicking in the so-called sympathetic nervous system, where epinephrine, norepinephrine are being kicked out. They bind to the respective alpha-1, alpha-2. Now, epinephrine binds to alpha-1, alpha-2, beta-1, and beta-2. They all have their own. And norepinephrine binds to alpha-1, alpha-2, and beta-1, not beta-2. So these two are being ejected out, and they cause the body's blood pressure to come back. So it's a compensatory mechanism. Blood pressure drops, sympathetic nervous system gets into overdrive, let me just say it gets kicked in, and it brings the blood pressure back up. So that's how it helps you. If the mechanism is not very much established, so yeah, you could end up being in a hospital and they still come out. I've yet to find out of people who've had no other condition, they went to the hospital and they ended up dying. So for me to say that vaccines can kill you, I wouldn't say that that's a common. I wouldn't say that's even rare, unless you're one of those people in which. Can it kill you? Possibly, if your blood pressure drops to the extent to override that threshold, and long enough, let me just say, yes, you could end up dying from it. But it's not common. So for those who are reluctant to get the vaccine, again, I'm not making this video to push anybody out to go and get the vaccine. I'm simply trying to tell you this is how vaccines traditionally are built, how the US and certain Western European countries went about it to build it, how China and Russia went about it and differently, and the symptoms and side effects with these certain, like the J&J, the Pfizer, Moderna, and some other ones that were made in the UK. And most conditions that I've seen about people who've had other conditions. So vaccines in general could possibly, in certain cases, lead you to die. Either you have other conditions or you have other comorbidities that have their own side effects, and you use this vaccine, and because of your prior condition, you ended up dying. But to say that, yes, it is guaranteed that when you get the vaccine, or any vaccine in that matter, and it kills you, it's a wrong statement. Again, we live in a time there is so much misinformation, and I'm trying to use this video as a way to help you guys out, to explain and help some of you out to see that this is how it works, and that no, you should not necessarily be afraid. I very much doubt that the average American out there, that if they have no condition, if they get the vaccine, they're going to end up dying. On a side note, unless you're in that position that you fall within a category that your immune system is, your body's not able to compensate, and you reach that threshold, and you're unable to get any kind of help, you could possibly, it could become lethal. But can this vaccine kill you? No, it will not kill you. I'm confident that a lot of that the average folk will just land in the hospital, or they'll just be woozy or dizzy for a couple of seconds, and they'll go back to being the way they were. My mom got the vaccine. She went for 3 days down. She had some fever. So she had some fever. She felt like as if her bone was being pushed out, as if like her bone were being actually stretched out, like being splintered, being dissolved. That was the feeling of it. She was down for about 3 days. So she went through fever. So if you like this video, let me know. Put down in the comment section what you think of it. If something I cleared out for you and you are happy to know how they work. And also please tell me your experience. For some of you, when you've got the vaccine, what was the most common one that you thought it was, and what scared you? So please share with me your experiences. Thank you very much.